What's going on, guys? So today this video is a subscriber's request. Actually, they wanted to see how I tied the skirts to the hex head jigs. This is 1 ounce that I have here. I got a couple of different sizes: 1 ounce, 3/4, and 1/4 ounce. But yeah, I'm actually sitting here tying up a bunch of jigs, and I figured what better time to make this video than now. So let's get started with the video. And alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start off with using my white hairs. I'm gonna do the same technique I do as when I tie my pompano jigs or the hex head with the flash on it. So go ahead and get, ooh, that's not good. Make sure your vise is tight too. There we go. That was not good. Make sure your vise is locked in. Get your wrap started, obviously, like that. And then trim off the tag in that you tied under. With this being, I think this is my 1 ounce here. I'll show you how much hairs that I like to use, essentially. And granted, you will cut some of it off. I like to pre-cut all of my hairs so that way I can just tuck and roll, you know, I can just tie a jig and keep on going. But that's about how much hair I'm going to use for this 1 ounce. It's not very much. It's what I like to say is just a pinch. But yeah, you want to try to get them all lined up. And with tying the hex heads, you're not going to have, all these hairs in this pinch are not going to stay. Some will fall out, some won't be lined up where the threads are, so on and so forth. But I'll take the pinch and start it right here at the top. I'll leave it as one solid clump, and I'll do 3 light wraps, or let's go with 5. Let's go with 5 light wraps, and then work it around with your finger, pressing lightly with your thumb. You don't want to push too hard and push the hairs off of the jig itself. But like I said, just keep on working around. And if you need to, pull the thread. Don't wrap it again, but just pull it to tighten it up a little bit more. And just work it around the lure. It's good if you have a rotating vise for this, because if you don't, it'll be kind of a headache to sit here and work the thread around. I know people that tie without a vise, and if you can, awesome, more power to you. I just like tying with a vise because I like everything to be aligned and put where I want it to be. Can't say you can't do that with your hands, but I feel a little more comfortable doing it this way. Once you've got it all worked all the way around the lure, the jig, sorry. I've been airbrushing lures for a little bit now. That's why I haven't really done too many YouTube videos. And I apologize for that. Airbrushing is very, very addicting. I love it. If you want to check out any of my work, go ahead and check out my website. I'll show it right here on the bottom of the screen. And yeah, go on there and check out some of the stuff that I'm airbrushing. But I got the hairs on here. I wouldn't recommend you doing this unless you've done it a couple of times, but I've taken it off the vise just to show you that I've got the hairs all the way around. Let's see, get the focus camera. Come on. And there we go. But yeah, get the hairs pushed all the way around the jig, and then you can start wrapping. Start finishing up some of your wraps. You want to go ahead and not really secure these hairs just yet, because I'm gonna be throwing in another color, so that's kind of like a bonus for you guys today. You're gonna see how to mix another color in once I can get this thing to reclamp. There we go. All right. Throw a couple of wraps on here. And everybody has their own way of doing this too as well. But we're going to go ahead and start putting what I'm going to be putting in blue. I'm going to put two different smaller sections of blue into this jig. I like to add a little extra color onto the skirting as well. Some people don't like the skirts to have, you know, another color into it. Me personally, I like to add it in there. Gives a little extra. But I grabbed out one bundle out, and then I took and separated into 2 equal parts. Grab it as one bulk and then separate it. That way it's a little bit easier to get, you know, I don't want to say exactly the same amount on each hand, on each side, but I mean, it's pretty close, as you can't see. So that's what I did. I did it that way. And so I'm gonna go ahead and add it onto this one side here. And it's the same way that when you put the white hair, the other hair on, you know, the white hairs, whatever you want to call it. Do a couple of wraps, press it down with your thumb. I like to work it around, like for it to lay flat. That way there's no bumps in the thread here. I don't like to have any little extra hump or anything like that in my thread. I like for it to all be smooth whenever it's done. So I got this side down. I'll go ahead and flip it around to the other side. Notice I didn't do any other wraps just yet, because like I said, I don't want to have one side have a bump on it, another side not. So I'm just going to take and line this up here, right against the back side of the jig here, and just do a couple of starter wraps. You know, like I said before, about 5. 4 or 5 is good to start with, and then just work it with your thumb. If you want, you can get other tools as well to flatten them out. These are scissors. I probably wouldn't recommend you using scissors to flatten. You might cut their threads. I've done it a couple of times, so luckily for me, I haven't cut any threads recently, but in the past when I was first learning, I definitely cut some threads, and it sucks because then you have to start all over again, of course. But yeah, now I got that blue on both sides of the jig. Go ahead and get ready to finish it off. Go ahead and wrap all the way around. Do an even wrap. Start from top to bottom, or bottom to top, whatever you prefer. Left or right-handed. Just depends, I guess. Me personally, I start from the top to bottom. The way you can push any imperfections down or out. And just work it all the way until you feel that you've got, you know, the right amount of thread that you want on there. And like I said before, there's gonna be hairs that are gonna come out that did not get caught or get trapped up underneath the wrap, and that's okay. Because, like a lot of people say, or I've been told by others, fish are not art critics. It's just the angler, and that's okay. Because, you know, everybody likes their things to look a certain way, and that's understandable. Hey, maybe you have better luck with it looking that way or this way or whatever. But there you go. Pull all the extra hairs and whatnot in there out. That's just not doing anything. Separate it, split it. Make sure you got an even amount. And I turn around and put it in the vise like that. No, this does not dull the hook. I'm sure you're looking at it like you're gonna dull the hook doing that. No, it doesn't hurt it. It just clamps the side. It doesn't mess with the tip. It's just fine. As far as cutting it, I like to, you know, go about 1 inch off the back of the hook and do it just like that. And that's how it's done. That is how I tie my hex heads. Like I said, this is a 1 ounce. And go ahead and put me some clear on here. What I like to use is, it's called Solaris Bone Hard. I love the stuff. No, I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. I just love the product. It works really well. I've been using it for probably about 6 months now, and I will show you how the finish of that stuff works and how it looks. It is a UV cure, and I love it personally. It's probably the best stuff that I have personally found. I like it. Some people don't like it. I haven't had any yellowing issues with it or anything like that, but you know, to each his own. And you just paint it on like so. I like to go all the way around, and I like to put a generous amount on there to make sure it's got a good healthy coat on there, and I don't have to worry about none of my hairs or anything like that coming out of the jig after a Spanish or something like that has been caught on a toothy critter. As most of you know, if you watch any of my other YouTube stuff, you'll see I do a lot of kayak fishing, offshore fishing. So a lot of my stuff has to be prepared and ready for toothy critters. Toothy fish, anything that's swimming that's got teeth. I've hooked into sharks on these little hex heads. You just really never know what's gonna eat them. It's, you know, I like throwing these jigs personally. Get your UV light, UV cure, your jig. I got a crappy light here. I gotta get a new one. All that matters is get the UV on there, rotate it around. You don't have to rotate it because this is a self-leveling epoxy with a UV cure. But it just leaves a phenomenal finish, nice gloss finish, doesn't yellow, doesn't do any of that stuff. I like it. Customers seem to like it, so I will keep using it. And like I said, look at the finish. Just glossy. Gotta love that. Gloss finish. Looks like it's wet. It's not. It's dry. But that's it. That's how I tie my hex heads. And till next time, guys, keep your lines tight. Keep experimenting with jigs, lures, whatever. It's always fun to catch things on things that you create, that you tie, that you make, that you paint, that you build. It's always fun. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Have any questions about anything, let me know. I'll put some links in the description below on my website.